So this is also like a part of the presentation that I was showing to the in the master's studies. So I will just show you some things. During this workshop, you will learn how to design spatial interfaces, basics of designing user experience for mixed reality, spatial UX design, how to make Hololens app from scratch, cognitive psychology and ergonomics in UX, especially in spatial design UX, design methodologies that will also help you in the future when you will be working on your projects or on everything, and how to think more critically. And I would like to ask questions to anything, like, and to not be very and to not be to not get everything as everybody will say to you. Even you can like critically think about what I'm telling you, and just this is just exercise for your personality. But I think it's very important to have this critical thinking when you are designing. Yeah. So I have been working in mixed reality lab in Starbury, and this was a place that was created by Microsoft and was open to everybody. And as you can see, there are a lot of devices that you could use and learn and meet with people. But I know that it's currently closed, especially it was closed a little bit before a pandemic. But when I will know when some kind of similar activities will be held, I can email you because it's great. And at the front, near the computer, there is UX specialist. His name is Paweł Ruszlewski, and he's a great person. And he's always at different great projects, and sometimes he gives some lectures, etc. So you can follow him, for example, on LinkedIn. Yeah, so I can show you the video of my master degree project.
Hi, my name is Samantha, and I'm the first IGNA spirituality guide. Today's society suffers from stress and anxiety. World is full of crisis, wars and violent changes. Technology is everywhere and makes things only worse. Almost everybody is addicted to the screen. I'm here to introduce to you something completely new and even controversial. Something what can change the way of thinking of secular spirituality. I would like to introduce reality where technology meets awareness. It's spacey. Explore the soundscapes of chakra healing music. Practice yoga with your humanoid yoga teacher. Focus. Feel. Engage. Discover the secrets of the influence of planetary arrangement on your life. Don't consider the past. Don't dream about the future. Focus on the present moment and enjoy.
Yeah, so it was some. I will just show you some things. Yeah, from right now, from the perspective of a person who has like 3 more years of expertise. Right now, I can see a lot of like things, which I would like to improve. But in general, I think that project comes good. So.
The third chakra is the center of willpower. The gift of this chakra is sensing your personal power, being confident, responsible, and reliable.
Yeah, and I would like to express like you have seen here.
Hi, my name today's.
Yeah. So this is Samantha. She wasn't like moving much, but her person was a virtual assistant that you also need to create during this workshop. The virtual assistant does not need to be visualized in any way. It can be just and it should be just a voice user interface, but it should have like some kind of personality, because when you use speech to communicate with something, it's like illusion of communicate with human, and you know the talking is the most natural way to express ourselves and our thoughts. And usually when people right now use the HoloLens like for the first or third time, because we need to remember that we are designers, and we are like up to date with technology, and we learn really quickly with things. We learn really, really quickly how to use even newest technology, and we can understand a lot. The most of the population is not like this, so here is a help that is named virtual assistant, and it's like leading person through all of the application. Also HoloLens, like a Microsoft created Cortana. Cortana is a voice user interface inside HoloLens. You can communicate with her like talk just in any place on the application. You can just call, hey Cortana, record a video, or hey Cortana, take a picture, or hey Cortana, take me to the menu. Of course, there are some Cortana is like very advanced, so it hears a lot of and understands a lot of commands, even when you are not like use the commands from the list, but you just try to use your natural way of speech. Your English needs to be pretty not advanced, but you need to articulate things really and pronounce and make a stress on a good pronunciation, because otherwise it's not understands you. But in general, it's made pretty great. And and so having a virtual assistant or having a Cortana is making that illusion of being under the care of like somebody is taking care of us, so we feel more safe, and we know that we are not alone here. And we will also try to create a person, like a virtual persona or virtual assistant, who will be totally like holding our hand in the application and help the user. Maybe we will not like implement it in very advanced level. We will just do the shortcut just to show you how it works on like from in the prototypes, because in the perfect way it will be like artificial intelligence, and there should be a lot of computer learning, etc. So it's pretty too advanced for us, but we will learn the general what rules how to do that. And this knowledge will be not only like useful in HoloLens, but also in devices like Alexa. So Alexa is totally voice user interface. And also Alexa has that name that she is Alexa, and people like, you know, use that and imagine that Alexa a little bit differently than, for example, Google Assistant. Yeah, I'm not sure if Google Assistant has any name. Maybe maybe you know that, and maybe you can share it with me. But you know, Google Assistant and Alexa, what would you choose? I would choose Alexa because it's like, it could be my friend. Yeah, and we are taught by the pop culture that artificial intelligence has like this is some kind, for example, a woman. Usually it's like, you know, it's woman because it's like usually these kind of movies are created from the man's gaze on how reality should look like. So usually that virtual assistants or like virtual person is usually a hot chick, or it's like or has really nice voice, and we can imagine that this is like a hot chick. So but in general we are used to that that the voice that we are going into the interaction with will have some personality, will have some, maybe a body that we can see. Yeah, so coming back to my presentation, this is also like a part of my
feet shoulder width apart, arms raised above head, bend knees to a 90-degree angle, keeping arms in line with spine. Feel the energy that appears in your legs and breath into the places that you feel pressure.
Yeah, so this is the other part, and this is, I think, my favorite part. That is here. It's a little bit faking that it's not the calendar of today, but I have programmed that for the day of my diploma defense. That she said that it's, I think, February 21st or something, and this was the date.
Today is February 25th and it's 56th day of Gregorian's calendar. Sky is calm and clear. Stars are telling that today will be successful and exciting day. Be aware and calm as you can inspire others. Ask or tap on the planets of their specific influence on you. Enjoy.
Yeah, so I wish that this application will work, because I will spend a lot of time on that, and I think this will be awesome, and that will show, you know, that true alignment of the planet, etc. Okay, so this is not our semester plan, but we will do 30 hours from the semester into 30 hours in 1 week. And from my experience, the speed of working is usually more effective on workshops. So I'm really happy that we meet here. Yeah, so this is a HoloLens. As you can see, it has like a four. It has four cameras on the side, and this kind on two sides. These cameras are reading your space, and it's like triangulate it. I think you can know this kind of shaping from 3D software. Yeah, in 3D software, you are trying to make that triangles as clean as possible. But with HoloLens, it's like it can be like this, because it tries to learn your room the best possible, just to arrange the holograms that they will be exactly on the places that you want to place them. And in very advanced game, which is I will send you that, because it's really nice to see how this works, how this game is working, that just people are like sitting on your sofa, and there are rats around your legs, and yeah, and it's totally awesome. We will not use that spatial mapping on our application. We can like fake that. We can fake that the installations will be like starting from the floor, because adding this mapping is not necessary here. Yeah, and it takes a lot of memory, and it's much more harder to use that. But it's totally possible to use that in when we will be doing bigger. When you will be doing the bigger project, yeah. So have in mind that this is like the most cool things in Hololens that none of the devices before had opportunity to map that kind of environment, and this is awesome because it is doing that only with these 4 cameras. Here you can see like 2 screens. So these holograms like are just presented on that second thing. So we are not seeing like, we are just seeing 2D. We are seeing like a 3D objects, but they are like projected on a 2D screen. Yeah, so it will be something like we see the games through the screen of a computer, and you know the games are 3D, but each of the cages are like could be a drawing, could be a 2D drawing. On the sides we have 2 speakers. These speakers are allowing us to create spatial sound, which is great because when you do that right, you can make the audio source in one space, and when you come closer, it's like, you know, louder. When you come somewhere else, it's not louder. It's I forgot that, but you know what I'm talking about. And it's awesome. Also, you can use the sound in your installation. It should be more about the typography, yeah. But you can, for example, make the interaction that you are tapping on letters, and they are making some kind of sounds. Okay, so this is it. Okay, so mixed reality HoloLens are very expensive. It's about 15,000 rupees. So it's not the device that is on the market really available for everybody. So it's not in mainstream. So it's not really easy to find a job if you are not a programmist. And yeah, and so you know it's not a mainstream yet, but this is the future of yeah, of everything, yeah, because VR is great, but it's very overwhelming. But in the future, we can, when the HoloLens, for example, 10 will be really small and looking like the glasses, we can like functionate every time with this and functionate with the holograms all of the time, just as something extra on our blah blah blahs and numbers. And in case of creating a presentation in general, like official presentations, it's really good to add some numbers, especially when you're talking about some about what yeah, about some technology and how it's working and how it will be in the future. Because it's like when people see numbers and you are really showing that the market growth will be bigger, then people will be more convenient that your work is like very useful in the future, even when it's prototype, for example. It's especially like when we are doing just the prototypes, people can say, oh, but nobody can afford the HoloLens, so your work is not like, you know, useful and blah blah blah. But then you can say that, okay, so this is the state right now, yeah, but technology goes like further and further, and when we are doing some researches and we are making a project and we are trying to understand the even the really niche devices. We are just, building the future because we need to know we need to know how to, and we need to learn on our mistakes and know how to build the future of and how to build the technologies of tomorrow. So yeah, as I told you before, the virtual objects are aware of our space, but they are also interactive. Experience is taking place in your real environment. Hololens can also like make projection of virtual environment, like totally like VR, like this is very like 100 immersive. And it's also great because everything is coming is placed on your room, so there is rather no possibilities of coming into the wall, and it's also not very overwhelming. But in general, it's not very, usually people are using HoloLens only with holograms. Okay, so it's of course exciting, engaging, and enhancing our reality. As you can see, it can be like for on the right. I'm not sure if you can see the same like sites, but you can see the astronaut. I think we will work on the tutorials with astronaut, and there is we can like even try to meet people in HoloLens, but this projection, it was live projection, but but these two guys were standing on a room with 360 cameras and Kinect, so this is not like default. It's not the default thing that you can open anyway, but this is possible. Yeah, so it's pretty cool. And you can use, of course, the HoloLens for education. As everybody is saying, for example, to his parents, just please buy me computer because I need that to learn things, and I need that for school. But everybody is knowing that people are using that to to play. But in this case, you can really learn some things. Especially it's for people on who are learning medicine, because you can. I think I have an application on that HoloLens. Unfortunately, I cannot like download anything on that HoloLens because it's registered on the Microsoft account of the person who is on IT department, and I cannot change that. But I hope that there are some cool applications. For example, this application to learn in 3D how people's body looks like. And it's not only for learning, but even in Poland, in Krakow, there was the first operation with a usage of a HoloLens. So they have created a scan of a person who are on the operation table, and they could see how the blood veins are coming in his body. So it was amazing. I can like share the link. I need to find that, but I think it's totally big, like advanced in even when that you will see that this device has a lot of limitations. I will show you to you that in a second. But even now, people can use that to do amazing things. It's also used for architects, especially for interior architects, and in factories, in car factories, and they are showing they have some kind of instructions how to build like things for cars, and they have like 3D instructions, so it's great. So mixed reality is something in between the physical reality and virtual reality. Of course, we have Google Glass, but it's not. It's just showing as some small interactions, not interactions, some informations, but it's not filling our environment. And Hololens does. So this is the main thing. And in Google Glass, almost nothing is interactive. In augmented reality apps like Pokemon or Minecraft, I think these two are the most popular. And we will be doing an open call in Thursday to collaborate with Exchange Magazine and to design geolocation augmented reality application. So you are more than welcome to come. So this is the state of mixed reality taxonomy. And there is really an exciting history of augmented reality. When I was doing my research for master degree, it was the most fun part, because as you can see, there are a lot of different, really funny looking things. I think the first thing ever about the similar to mixed reality which we have right now was this from 64. It was a sword of Damocles. Its name is from the some kind of old tale, not a tale, but old myths or something, that it was so big that it was needed to be held on the ceiling, and this person was seeing the 3D model of just the outline of the model of a cube. Then on the right, on the top, you can see that person who has glasses on his head. It was because in I don't remember what was there exactly, but in Japan, I think there were a lot of researchers around 80s and 90s and 2000s. So I think they have made a lot of improvement in general and we have so it's really interesting. If you will be ever interested in the future in about the history of augmented reality, maybe not, this is not augmented reality, in fact it's like more like between AR and MR. And we have also this crazy man who is named Steve Mann. I really love him because it's like we are an extraordinary person, and he like by himself and with some assistants and friends and professors have created a lot of different prototypes of devices that you can keep on your head. And there were a lot of I think these glasses you can see, and with the dots in the cube, it was very similar to what we have right now. And it was around, I think, 90s and 2000s. So it got like from this sword of Damocles. It was like 50, almost 60 years between the HoloLens we have right now and you have seen. In a second I will show you HoloLens second. It's like mind-blowing, but I will show you that after you will know the interaction, the kind of interactions that you can use on HoloLens 1. The biggest limitation in HoloLens is like the narrow field of view. That means that you can see like only the rectangle of the holograms, as you can see on these pictures, and you need to move your head a lot. But in general, when you get used to that, it's you don't pay so much attention. But when somebody is very beginner, for example, when I'm showing the HoloLens to many of my friends who are like not really up to date to the limitations, they like cannot feel that they just cannot put the HoloLens on their head in the way that they see the actually holograms. Yeah. So this is a thing that we need to take in mind. That all of the interface that people are using should be in this limited screen. Yeah. So we don't have immediately like 300 300 view, but we can like fake that and yeah, this is thing that we need to remember. But in your case, when we will be doing these great installations, we won't do many of the like small interfaces, but we'll do like much more different things. So but also remember about that. Yeah. So coming back, okay, so the problem is that environment influence perceiving of an object. So when we have that really bright screen behind us, we cannot, for example, read small text, white small text. So in 2002, they have created that great idea of the device that should adapt displayed image. And this is not possible right now. I think if there will be some really advanced programmers and they will create such a project, it will be possible just for Hololens to read how bright the room is and to adapt the displayed image. But right now, the thing we can do is to add darker background behind the elements, and it works. Yeah, it just works. Yeah, there are some. I will show you also some rules. Yeah, so. As I have mentioned before to you about the virtual assistants, how pop culture influence the users' imagination of how it will look like, etc. So also pop culture influences how our product expectations. And right now, the HoloLens second is like fulfilling all of these expectations because the full interaction with body, with hands, and yeah, I will show it's amazing. It's possible, but with HoloLens one, it's not. We have like, of course, we can communicate with our speech, also with our speech. Yeah, I don't know, with talking, and the HoloLens is also talking to us. We can use our I think 3 or 4 gestures in HoloLens to move things or to interact with that. But in the new HoloLens, so it's like much more limited to us. Yeah, so it's not very full, very natural. Yeah, we do have some different expectations. And we also do have some expectations about the spatial interface. So this is like a thing that I think that you know that this is like a spatial interface that is presented to us in movies. But in general, I don't think that it's really easy to to use, as there are a lot of bright really bright objects, and these are like these two on the top are like the perfect visualization or how people are creating the interfaces. But this is just a 3D 3D mockup, and here is also a mockup but created in Photoshop. It's really nice way to present your project, because it is really easy to communicate with other people. and yeah, and then you can discuss it and see, for example, even here you can, for example, see that these objects on the dark background are much more easier to perceive that, for example, light objects on light background. Here is not so much, so much. Here is some kind of a contrast between, but you can imagine how it will look, for example, on a white wall or in looking up on the window. Here is also a visualization, but this is actually part of a HoloLens application. But it's also really much more nicer to present than just a screenshot from a HoloLens. You can make a screenshots and videos on HoloLens, but they're not in the greatest like quality, and it records that in not very nice way, as in the recording it is like easy to perceive that this is not actually 3D holographic object, but it's like 2D presentation of 3D object. Oh, okay, so that's nice. So you can see here the great interaction. Yeah, it's great if you would like to be inspired and even to create something, this kind of things. But you know, these are like expectations, and this like reality, how it's like made. At the top you can see the interface of HoloLens. This is Cortana, not Cortana, but this is like a home in Windows, and these are also the things that people use, because as you can see, each of these is like a not very big rectangle. So even these designers had in mind that it will be the best if it will fit in this narrow field of view. So it's great. And what else? Yeah, and you can see that this is each of it has like dark background, etc. So interfaces also can be spatial. Here they are like not really spatial, because remember that this HoloLens is, I think, was released about 2000 in the 2016 or 15. So it's not so much time, especially when most of these applications are like made in a really strict collaboration between programists and designers, and people not are totally used to design 3D spatial interfaces. But this is like, I know that this is not very like not very impressive, but it works. Yeah. So in designing, we need to find what we need to find a compromise between being something being beautiful and something being useful, and usability should be always in the first place. Yeah, because nobody cares if your design is beautiful when it's not working. And if it works, it works. So always focus first on the usability and on of being a very user-centered, for creating really user-centered object design. So always remember that people who are, yeah, always think about the people, get to know your final users. So you shouldn't be designing your design for yourself, but you should design that for people. So like, of course, your aesthetics is important, but the most important things are like really usability. For example, a big typography, and if you are designing for some kind of elderlies or people who has some kind of problems with reading, always remember about people who have some kind of visual disabilities, not disabilities, but you know, these people who cannot differ the colors for a color blinders. That also remember to differ not only by color, but also maybe use another kind of visualization of change. Yeah, so here you can see how great can be like really easy. How great it can be really easy spatial interface, as this is, as you can see, it's spatial, but it's not overwhelming, and I think it's cool. And for doing that, you need to have like a bounded 3D model, because you cannot like use this kind of binding in Unity really easy, I think. But it's much more easier to just to import the model, and here is a great visualization because it shows us how the field of view is working. And from my past work, when I was doing some kind of a prototype with that algorithm, this senior UX designer had this great idea to put the interface in here, because we have created the okay, so I will tell you about that thing, what I needed to do. So my colleagues, the programists, were doing an application which used algorithm that Hololens is recognizing the objects, that is not only like map objects, but the Hololens actually know what is the table, what is the chair, and they wanted to find out, because the application was programmed that this algorithm is not only knowing where is the table, but it's also placing the small pin on the middle of that object. But they needed to find out what is the difference between real middle of the object and the place where algorithm placed this pin, yeah, because it wasn't perfect, and they needed to know what is the difference between. So I needed to make an application. They have made that part of with algorithm understanding objects, but I needed to make an interface and to create like a handy inspector of and handy. I don't know if I don't have that here. So the smaller one of these cube was created by the algorithm, and the second one was placed by me manually, and it was counting the longitude between two objects. Here is of course not distance 4 meters, so it's like on the face of the it was placed. It was just a prototype who was not working, but it was really fun. And on the bottom of the screen, you can see like the transparent menu. Yeah, so I wanted to say something about this menu, that it's like not in your field of view every time, but you know that it's like in the position of your legs. It's not in the it's like somewhere between not between your legs, but near your legs, like here, so you can use it every time. Yeah, so you can also use that for the for your installations, that you, for example, when you would like to have like from the storage, you will create you will like get from your button, you will then place the letter somewhere, and you will give the user possibility to build something by himself. So you can like have that interface somewhere here. So okay, so next field of view I have told you right now. Okay, so we have 3 types of creation, possibilities of creation. The mixed reality applications. First is like enhanced environment applications, which are like understanding our like dimensions in our place, but it's not very blended. And on the right, you can see that the application created like a hole in your wall. So it's really amazing that we can use that in this kind of interaction. And as I have told you before, you can have also a full immersion applications that are like virtual reality ones, but you cannot see anything else, but it fits to your room. Of course, blended environment app, and here you have some like examples, like a bed is covered and replaced by a mixed reality fruit stand in real game, or something like that. And enhanced environment app, for example, cooking app placed above the kitchen's island to assist in the cooking task. Oh, sorry. Wayfinding things, things like Skype, and they don't need to be totally placed in your exactly on your environment. They can be just like a screen, just floating in your space. Yeah, and you can use all of the apps on the HoloLens device, Skype, YouTube, Facebook, everything. So it's also great if you would like to, for example, lay down and watch a movie without making your neck hurt. Yeah, so it's great. Yeah, it's not your final project, but you can see really yeah, so it's an example of how it could work. So I think it's cool, especially when you would like to learn to do something. I didn't know that brewing coffees, things like that, but maybe it will be. Oh, okay. I think it was especially made by that company, so it's really really fun. Okay, right now we came into my favorite part, so types of interactions. As we know what HoloLens is like and how it can like look like, I have told you about some limitations of the types of interactions. So the one thing is gaze. The HoloLens is not spying your eye movement, but it's spying your the movement of your head, and exactly on the top of your head, in the HoloLens, they are assuming that there is like 0.0, and it's counting the how to say that, like the angle of movement, and it's and as you can see, as you can see here, it's like it's not visible, this line on the HoloLens, but you need to remember that you have something like that, because it's used for what? So you have something like a cursor. So the actual mark, how it's like this kind of of a circle, and it's moving with your head. So we can like use it with your. We can use that with your as your mouse in the computer. And you need to use like a gesture to interact that, to click on the like on the mouse, like in computer, and also you can use a voice to control your apps. Here you have like Cortana, yeah, and Cortana will help you complete tasks.
Gesture input on the Hololens is similar to mouse clicks on a desktop. It works in conjunction with gaze. User targets an item with their gaze, and then selects or activates the target with a gesture. When the user places their hand in the field of view in the ready position, you get an activation event, indicating that the user is ready for input. A tap is synonymous with a mouse click and can be used to take action on the currently targeted item. You also have a tap and hold gesture, which is similar to holding the mouse button down while moving it. Rotation and zoom are typical uses of this gesture. Gestures are a natural and intuitive way for users to interact with mixed reality content.
Okay, so I think that covered most of things. Okay, and this is the air tap, yeah? So you are taking your two fingers and just quickly closing them, yeah? Okay, so I can assume that that everybody understood that. And on the right, you have the video how Bloom looks like. Bloom only opens up to us the main menu, and we cannot use the Bloom in our applications here because it's like escape. Okay, so interaction, user interface component. So human computer can get into the interaction with voice commands and virtual buttons. Yes, so you're clicking something and something opens. And computer human is using the visual language like text data and audio records, as I mentioned you, voice interface can stimulate relation as it's the most reliable for the humans. Interaction states. As in each user interface, we have different interaction states. Also, when you are designing, for example, the web, when you are using web components, there is a state of pressed, and it's cursor on an object plus air tap. Air tap, this is like, like clicking on the mouse with your two fingers. Targeted, so cursor on objects plus hand ready. So HoloLens understands when you are having your arm and you have like this L shaped fingers. Interactive, cursor not on object plus hand ready, so you're not having the cursor exactly on the object and hand is ready. Observation and targeted, cursor on object plus hand not raised, so when you are not having your hand, but you are centering your head on the object, it is like observation and targeted. And that means that you are seeing the object and not trying to click that, but then you can, for example, move your head into the location of a cube, and this cube will, for example, change the color just to tell to the user that this is interactive object. Or, for example, you can program that you are moving your head into the cube, and that some information about that cube pops out, yeah, or there will be some animation. So, button can be also disabled for some reason, and you can have also observation only, that you can see that hologram, but you are not pointing that and you are not raising the hand. You have also bounding box. So in Unity, you cannot like make box in the size, for example, of piece of cheese or of the 3D object. You are resizing like in a bounding box. Yeah. So when you are doing the resizing, usually it is the best to have that kind of visualization of box. And we will use the great mixed reality toolkit. You will have some time of today to watch what is possible. Today we will also plan your installation. So it will be great, and since tomorrow we will be developing that, and tomorrow we will have also the small lecture, much more like shorter than this, but I think there are really important things that I need to tell you, because in this case you really need to know the limitations and possibilities of using this device, just to know what is possible and what not. You can have also there is also a possibility to use that kind of object collection. It's also created by and I wanted to say something, that this is a toolkit that Microsoft gave us, and on that you can learn a lot, because on the right of the Unity you will have an instruction and just all of the everything will be explained. What is that? And you can just copy the script and place that on your object, and it will work. Works object collection, that it's automatically creating for you the that's that kind of nicely placed collections. Okay, and affordances. So affordance is something what I was mentioned before, and affordance is the information from the user interface that something is clickable, and and you can group the affordances into the 3 states. How do I know it's working? Like, some kind of, because not every hologram needs to be, interactive. Sometimes it can be just decoration, or sometimes it's just not interactive without reason. And so how do I know it's working, as not everything should be interactive. Second one, how do I know what I can do? For example, this bounding box is also the good example of affordance, that when you see that kind of bounding box, it's a little bit similar to other bounding boxes that you have seen in your life, or this is just a pretty natural information. What is this? Head gaze cursor also so you will get that presentation, so you can like really just read that, because I think then you will know and understand more than me talking, and I think I have just explained to you a little bit how to read that. Oh, okay. And how do I know what I just did? For example, some kind of things and directions in Hololens can take some time to load, and you need to make to inform user what will happen next. For example, you can make that loading bar. This is the most common example in web or in the phone apps, in everything. You can like make also the animation that the button is actually pressed. or you can give some visual confirmation, etc. Okay, possible interactions, because as this is, yeah, you see here, it's like telling us that this could be like interactive. And here is an affordance that we have done something, yeah. So we are sure that we have done some kind of action. What about placing holograms? They can be word locked, like they just have like one stable position on the space, and we have also body locked, that it's locked to our body. It's not the greatest idea to have like body locked every time, like in this field of view things. But if, for example, if you hide something here, like an interface, it will be totally okay, because here you can have like to be overwhelmed. And yeah, and billboarding is the thing that like here, that everything is always like pinned to your face, and this can, and as you can see, it's like also um, sensible to your to the movement of your head, so you can get a little bit feeling of the sickness. And there's also a thing what is called divergence accommodation conflict, because we need to study that, because yeah, as I mentioned before, you have like a screen, two screens on your head, and the screen that is closer to your eyes is projecting you holograms. So your eyes is trying to focus on that screen, but as the hologram um, but as the hologram is transparent, you can see also something like here, for example, like table or things or people. So it's making us also sick. So it's not the best. And for example, when we add some like latency, so any kind of delay in an interface, it makes us sick. And so be careful creating too much too heavy applications. Here is an optimal zone, because in Unity we will work like on the real distances. So you need to remember about what will be the most just the best distance between the user and holograms, because if you put them too close to the user, it will be just not very comfortable, and if the distance will be longer than 4 or 5 meters, the gaze, it will be really difficult to reach the hologram with the gaze. And also very important is to remember where to put, not only in the distance but also in the angle. You have the most optimal region is like 0 to 35. And why that? Because of the build of the HoloLens, of how the device is built, and how this narrow field of view is like looking, and our head is from default a little bit moved to down, that our chin is like, it's much more easier for us to have like to look down than to look to up. But of course, in case of the installation, it's more about like about the interface, about the information. When you will be doing the 3D installations you can place like everywhere, yeah. But if you are thinking about creating an interface, it's better to remember to just to make that good angle. Yeah, so don't put them too close to the user, because you can make them crossed eyes or eye strain. And yes, stereoscopic vision is like not 180, but a little bit less. Yeah, and as I told you before about placing the menu, maybe interface a little bit down, so in the lower region, and here holograms and interactive things. Here is something about the white color gamut, that the Hololens is displaying a lot of colors. So the bright, please avoid the really bright screens. If you are, because they will be, yeah, but in general, don't do in interface, for example, interface like background cannot be white, because it's not really pleasant, or it cannot be really light from, like, I don't know, light orange, because the projection is created by light, so it's really bright to our eyes, and this kind usage of this kind of bright application will be harmful for the user. Okay, and the white gamut of RGB also means that black is transparent. We cannot see anything what is black on HoloLens, so use the darkest possible gray, and the darkest possible gray is 16, 16, 16. Once I have created and spent a lot of time to make a tutorial of doing a great moving animated black hole, what is like animation and like going all around you, and wow, it was great, and I have spent a lot of time in Unity, but I was really sad, and I didn't know what happened when I built the application to HoloLens, and this was just because of the fact that black is transparent. I knew that before, but I just forgot about that, and it gave me a lot of upset. So no 100,000 black, I think, and no big bright areas. Also, we have something what is called color, screen color distortion. That this is very easily seen on the really bright areas, but this is like a default like problem with HoloLens, as this is a projection, and I think it's a little bit similar for a distortion with the prism, but I'm not sure. This is just my assumption. Of course, we have a color banding when we do kind of gradient. This is the same as in the. This is the same as in the. In the Photoshop or in Illustrator, etc. So use 24-bit gradient if you would like to use that kind of material. Bright things. Is this like moving? Is this a video or not? No, this is just a picture. This is a picture made through HoloLens, and this is part of my installation for my diploma. And these objects were by default like without brights and without color. And after the tap, each of the shape just get a little bit of light, and it play the music. And in that kind of application, I have created that you could like compose out of these different songs. But it could be a little bit overwhelming when you have too much looped strong songs. So you need to have a balance in this and really, think, because not every sound is just don't use too much sounds which will play in the same time. But you can do something like this, that you play this one, and when it's like open, you can hear this. But when you click on that, then this is only a working thing. And I think this is a nice solution. Then I will just think about the dimensions. We can, because we cannot see 100 black, we can make some kind of occlusion. And this is, I have created, this was a project of my buttons for a diploma. And but there is also one thing that you cannot, you can use like a black in for the occlusion, that it will be, as you can see here, it will be like a 3D great looking things. But when you are doing a screenshot, the screenshot is seeing the black. But there is also the occlusion material that even in Unity you don't see the background, but you can see that these buttons are like in a dimension, and you cannot and there is also no background in this. Okay, this is the thing that we will cover tomorrow. The design process is to start from idea. We will start the idea today. Make some research also today, and you will, after today, you need to have the idea of possible interactions you would like to make in your project. From tomorrow, we will make a design, then developing, testing, and coming like to this place a lot. And if needed, you can also always start from idea to the research. Research is my favorite friend, Google. Think big, of course. Here you have like types of user input. You can find it here on the application, and I think it will help to design the installation. So this is also important for you, just to make concept art, to explain to me and your fellows and your classmates how your application will work. Yeah. Of course, this is like drawn by the professional storyboarder, but I believe that all of your skills to drawing will be enough to that. Yeah. So this is also expectations, and this is drawing that I got from the senior UX in my in my job. Yeah, but the ultimate goal is the good communication with coworkers, but please be more like this. Yeah, I don't need from you to make some shades or anything, but we need to have a good communication. You can also draw different states. For example, you will draw big letters and then make right just and make some sketches, because I need you to send me all of your ideas today, that I can write some codes. If you won't be ready today, you can also do that tomorrow. I will do that, because tomorrow you will do some easy tutorials, even made by Microsoft, and I will send you one created by me. I think this one by me will be a little bit easier for you. But I couldn't watch it like again by myself this year, because because I cannot hear, I cannot listen to myself anytime. Okay, here is another option to to create storyboarding. If you have the VR Googles, you can create 3D. You can create a 3D user interfaces like and sketches, so it's great because you can like watch it together with other people and discuss about the discuss that with others and make some extra sketches on that. Okay, so I will share with you this presentation in a minute, but I have another presentation in case you are not enough presentation. Okay, but this is like a part of your job to do during these workshops, and I have some inspirations for you, and I will also show you. So this is actually the installation created by this guy you can see on the photo. There is also an article about this guy on Medium and also on your somewhere else, but it wasn't. It is more like an application, not really art installation, because this is an app that you can actually by yourself use a different type of fonts that you can choose it. So it's like it's not totally like an installation. Yeah. I don't know. I also wanted to say something about the installations, but I will just show you that on okay, so here is a really nice description about what is the installation. I think this is not this is just a perfect one. Installation is an artistic genre of three-dimensional works that are often site-specific and designed to transform the perception of the space. So why, do you have an idea why this application is rather, it's not completely the art project?
It's interactive one, or it's not placed in some special space. It's kind of could move, either big person moving or no, I don't know.
Yeah, the answer is not, yeah, because it could be named as an installation what the person is doing, but in general this one is like on the verge of these two, because it's like the app that you can just like use, and there is no particular goal from the point of this person who have created that. Yeah, because you can read later on what this person wrote about that application, but this is like a very good starting point. Yeah, because it like helps us visualize how it can look like. I have found some nice inspirations for you if you will, for example, stack. Of course, these are like visualizations, etc. But maybe it will help you to think, and to it can give you some starting point. So here is some space. I think, okay, this will be not very easy to do, to cover the walls and say ceiling and floor one-to-one, because we won't be using the spatial mapping here, but you can see how great the big typography can be, how it looks great. And maybe you don't you cannot like put it actually on the wall, but you can make a wall by yourself. Yeah, like something like this. So these are walls. Of course, it's just you can make the typography out of the typography. Yeah, you can make some blocks, use different things. It will be great if you, for that kind of, if you will use for that kind of installations, use some kind of a poem. You don't need, like, you know, from the refers to the end, like you don't need to use that, you know, like in the regular way, but you can like mix every word with something else. But I think the poetry is the best thing in there, much more better than just different types of words like diffuse one or like lorem ipsum. We don't use lorem ipsum, but it's also okay if you will use only the letters. But also in here we can assume that yeah, this is just the drawing, and this is not very even very three-dimensional, but I like, you know, these things are working together. We can see that somebody had a good idea. Yeah, but remember that we have a space. This is also not very like really nice option, that you cannot, that something from the side is not looking like anything. It can be also, can also have like small letters, but from one perspective it's giving us the this kind of illusion that this is a kind of shape, letter, or etc. And you can really pretty easily do that in a Unity. Yeah, here you can, this is also the projection. You can, you cannot like project that on the person exactly, but you can make shapes. You can make also the masks. You have seen the what I have done with that buttons, so you can make some kind of occlusion. You can, for example, make some hidden installations. For example, you know, somebody needs to put head, maybe not whole head. You can make like bigger holes in the space and make installation inside. So as you can see, there are so many extra options, because you cannot like do that kind of visuals in the reality. And what next? Yeah, so use space a lot. Be inspired by the architecture. Tomorrow we will, or even today, if you would like to make some easy exercise, you can analyze the architecture. And what I do like to, if you have a printer, you can print some of the buildings you like. I can show you what can be really good for an inspiration. Print some building, print some good architecture, and just with a pencil or with anything, just try to understand what kind of spaces do we have here. Yeah, so what kind of angle do we have here? Why do we think like this looks like a nice composition, but when we just look at this without an analysis, this is like okay, this is a space, but look how many, this is a render, of course, but you can also get inspired. You can observe easy proportions between you can easily observe proportions between this and this and this, you know, there is a lot of great architecture. Even this is very inspiring. Yeah, but for hours work will be the best. Oh, okay, this is like maybe not thing that will be easy to do with that kind of light on the ceiling. But I wanted to add here that you can use the light. I will also show you what kind of the tools we do have in Unity, that you can put a light inside, like light in your Unity, and you can make the installation of letters all around. And it will like also give us some kind of distortion. This, okay, what I wanted to show you was brutalist architecture. There are a lot of great, I think the brutalist architecture should be definitely something that you need to focus on, but because it has like a wonderful lines, and just even when you don't have a printer, you can like observe the screen and just draw down the types of dimensions, and this will like open your mind into different angles, into different spaces, and then you can like when you observe, because architectures, I think they're the best people that we can like follow in case of the perceiving the space, because they are like experts in space, and this is like amazing work. What are they doing? And maybe we will not making any buildings out of the we will not make any buildings out of the in the Hololens, but you can get inspired, for example, and compose all of your letters, like getting inspired by this, and then it will be more interesting for people when you will say that you get inspired by a brutalist architecture, because it is like a really interesting point of view and think about them, and it's really good starting point, because it's much more harder to like when we are sitting in the front of the blank page to imagine something, and it's much more easier to try to be inspired by something and then redone that in your way. Okay, of course, like different fonts, different letters, different colors. Not this, but okay, here you can also like build the walls out of the letters, out of the poetry. If you need to get inspired, what kind of poetry you need to use, but I will be really happy. I think this is like a part of the this is a part of this exercise that you need to create this this installation of the actually made poetry. You don't need like it will be great if you will like understand and the poem and made it like get inspired only by a poem, but it's not the case in here. We just want to have composition, close composition. You just using that. You are just using that poem to have some starting point, and and I think this will be just much more artistic for that.